Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. Today we're doing a starter guide for a Diablo 2 Resurrected Sorceress. Now obviously this is not Diablo 2 Resurrected, the beta finished a long time ago, so I'm going to have to show you a character on Diablo 2. Unfortunately I can't find my game disc anywhere, so I've had to rebuy the game, and I have been enjoying it. I've got it on several machines, but the only character I've got on this one is my Sorceress. So this is up to level 23, we're about halfway through Act 3, so this is by no means like an end game guide. This is just to cover the first few hours for returning players, people who played this game like myself way back when, and have maybe forgotten a little bit as to how it works. We're going to be building a fire sorceress. There are many different ways you can do a sorceress. Fire I like because you can get a really easy powerful weapon. So I've got my notes right here with me. We're just going to go through them nice and slow. I will put a written guide in the description, so if you do want to check that out, by all means do so. If you want to put any comments to help players out coming back to the game, any other tips, any other like little hacks, cheats, whatever it is that might help, that obviously would be greatly appreciated. As always, a thumbs up brightens my day. Really excited for the 23rd. Can't wait to get taping the proper resurrected graphics and stuff. But for the moment, we're stuck with D2 vanilla. Now, when we start off the game, obviously we're going to have no gold. We're going to have nothing on us but a staff. And to be honest, the Sorceress, I'm gonna probably say Wizard at some point. The Sorceress has a little bit of a difficult time through the early levels. Reason being is you're pretty squishy. You don't have much life. Your only attack that you have is actually going to be Fire Bolt. This is what you start with. It's single target, and you're gonna run out of mana and stuff. So you just have to do your best like early on, and once you do get a little bit of gold, I would recommend making sure that you come to Akara early on and top yourself up with mana potions, and make sure you've got, you know, a health potion or two, because dying in this game does suck, and it can happen, you know, fairly easily. But if you've got the mana to fire out your firebolt, you should be okay. Now again, initially in the first couple of levels your stamina is really low. Stamina does not go down in town, but as soon as you open yourself out into the world, it will start to drain. Now, you can run off. Obviously, that's rubbish because you're walking around really slow. But stamina drains very fast initially, but as you get more life, you do get more stamina. So again, if you've got the gold to spare initially, it's kind of useful to come to Akara and just grab yourself a few of these potions, and they will give you 30 seconds of unlimited stamina, which is pretty nice. Now, something else I like to do early on, so the first like level or two, I will buy a book of Identify, I guess Tome, and a Tome of Town Portal. This just basically means that I'll lock off these 4 squares in my inventory, and you know, I will be able to have my scrolls here for when I need to get back to town. And until you rescue Deckard Cain, which is a, you know, not too long into the game, but any gear you find before then, you're going to need to ID it. So I do like having a book. Also, it means that I don't have to come back to town every time I find something interesting. So again, that is something that I probably would do. Right. Okay, so we bought the books. The next thing is going to be, we're going to be looking out for, and these are things that you can find, but the easiest way to get them is to buy them off Chassis up here. The 2 gear pieces we're looking for are a chest piece with 2 open sockets, or a helm with 2 open sockets. So we didn't get them on that go, so if you want to refresh, you can just simply go out of town and then go back, and this will restock the vendor. And basically we just want the 2 open sockets, because in it, let's see, has this worked? Because in it we're going to basically put any gems that we find. Did we get it? No, so you might have to do this like a few times. There you go, we did get one. So obviously you would, you know, get your stash space sorted, and then you would buy one of these, and then it's, you know, pretty cheap, 800. You know, you just need to make sure you've got the stats to equip it. Strength is the main stat for equipping armor. And basically in that you would put, let's say, a blue sapphire. So this would give you mana, so that means you can do more fireballs. And you could also put a ruby, which would give plus life. They're pretty much the only two things I'd look to add. You know, early on, plus 10 to life is huge, plus 10 to mana early on is huge. I mean, even if on this character, it would still be another not far off 10% extra mana, which is going to be pretty huge. And obviously, if you get it in 2 pieces, so much the better. Now, life is also pretty important because the bigger this pool is, as we said earlier, the more stamina you have to run around, so that's pretty nice. But also, the more life you have, the less chance you have of being put in hit recovery. That's where a monster hits you, takes, I think it's about 8 or 9% of your health in one go, and you get stuck in an animation. And that's kind of one of the suckiest ways to die in the game. And obviously, life just in general makes you tankier as well. The most important gear piece, I'd argue early on, is actually going to be a belt. So again, you can come over to Chassis and buy one. So when you start off, you will only have these 4 potion slots here. Again, you can maybe find a sash on the ground, but the most reliable way is to talk to her and buy one. You're pretty cheap in terms of gold. And even just a 1 rung one like this will give you an extra 4 potion slots, which would be really nice. And then you can get this type of belt in Act 1, but it's generally Act 2 when you will find it. A double looped belt will give you 12 potion slots. You do need 25 strength to equip this, but honestly, having the extra potion slots is just godly. It's extra inventory space in a way, and also it really, really does help you out because potion spam is going to be a little bit of a thing. Now, as you're leveling your sorceress, every time you gain a level, you're going to get 5 points to add to the character. Now, strength basically will only be applicable to equipping gear. So you do want to take your strength to 25 early on, and that will allow you to get the double belt. So you can just put, say, 5 points into it to get to 20, and then look to add the other 5 when you get to Act 2. Vitality is probably going to be where you're putting the most of your points, the vast bulk of them, and certainly early on, for obviously the reasons we talked about life, the extra stamina, the hit recovery, the tankiness. And then energy, I do actually put some points into energy because spamming potion buttons is a little bit dull, so I do like to have a decent amount. So the first couple of levels, I'll usually start with vitality. I'll then try and sneak 1 strength one in, then maybe an energy, then again a couple of vitality. I might then take strength up to 25, and then I'll kind of play around with vitality and energy. Normally like 2 or 3 in vitality, 1 in energy, something along those lines, just to keep my character topped up. Obviously, always this is dependent on what gear you find. You know, if you have a lot of plus life to gear, then you might not need quite as much vitality. So that will always, be something that you want to play by ear. Now, in terms of skill points, the way obviously the game works is the more you invest into a skill, the more powerful it becomes. We're not going to touch the cold tree. We're not going to touch the lightning tree. Cold, you can go for Frost Nova. You can pick this up on gear. So what the Frost Nova will do is you press it and it will basically be a defensive skill. It will slow stuff for you. But I've got on these gloves 5% chance to cast a level 3 Frost Nova when we get struck. So this will just randomly go off sometimes. And you can find it, you can pick it up on your boots, on gloves. It just kind of depends what you find. But nothing in lightning until we get to level 17, which we'll come back to. So basically, when you start, all the points go into Firebolt. I probably wouldn't put anything into Warmth. I have built a character doing this in the past. It's not particularly bad. You do get some extra mana, but honestly, I think you just want to go full DPS and everything into Firebolt until you unlock Fireball, and then you pump everything into this. Fireball's amazing. It's really nice AoE skill, and it will blow up monsters for us, which is pretty good. Now, in the lightning tree at 17, you want to take a point in Telekinesis. This is so that at level 18, you can get to teleport. This will just allow you to move around faster. You don't have to put these 2 points in. By all means, you could have the extra 2 again into Fireball and do extra damage. But I think, particularly if you have to like backtrack or anything like that, having teleport is very nice. It is thirsty on mana, so just bear that in mind. But it is pretty good. So that is pretty much what I'll be doing with the fire skills. Now, A super important thing in this game is a mercenary. The guy I've got at the moment, Kasim, is from Act 2, but again, fairly early on in the quests, you will be able to unlock yourself a mercenary. So Kasha is down here. She'll give you a rogue, so it'll be an Amazon with a bow. She's pretty squishy. She'll die pretty easily. But what I would say, again, similarly with the trick with the chest plate with the 2 sockets, you want to be getting a spare one of these for your Merc, and you also want to get a helm again. So this is like a helm that I used myself very early on, extra mana, extra life. You know, if you get a 2 open socket one for your Merc, you just want to put rubies in, plus life, plus life, plus life is what you want, and that will help keep your Merc alive a little bit whilst she levels up. And then you also, again, you just want to basically buy as much stuff as you can and make the game easier. So again, you're looking for a bow with a triple socket. So, you know, once you've got your mercenary from completing the relevant quest, the burial grounds, which is very early in the game, you want to get yourself a triple socketed bow, and then you're looking to put maybe green gems in for poison damage over time. That way, you know, when your Merc is hitting stuff, because it lights up green. But by all means, you can do cold damage, you can do lightning damage, which would be a yellow gem. But yeah, you just want to make your mercenary do as much damage as possible. Now, when you do get to Act 2, you're probably going to want to swap and pick up one of these guys. They will, again, exactly the same principles. We've got a nice chest plate here, but if I haven't found this, it would be a double socket one with extra life. His helm, as you can see here, we've got plus 34 to life. That's pretty big. That's quite a lot of extra hits you can take. And again, we've just stuffed his two-handed weapon full of stuff to do him damage, and that's really handy, particularly for Fire Sorceress, because if you get a fire immune monster, which to be honest there aren't too many on normal, you know, going through the game, but if you do, your mercenary can step in and take them out, which is pretty handy. Now, in terms of quests and stuff, when you do go to get Deckard Cain, which you don't have to, this is an optional quest, but when you do get it, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you go to the top left of the map to find Wurt's body to get the leg. You want to do that for some cow runs later. We also, in the quests, we're going to do the Countess multiple times. So that's the first one, the den, where you get the skill point. Then we've got the Blood Raven Burial Grounds one, which is going to give us the Merc. Then we get Cain, where we rescue him. Now this fourth one here, the Forgotten Tower and the Countess. Countess runs are a very big deal early on. So you go to the Black Marsh, and then you look around for the tower, which mine was over the bridge, which was annoying. In Diablo 2 Resurrected, the map will be different each time. You know, they do have dynamic mapping, which is great. But you basically go, you kill the Countess, and she will drop runes. It can sometimes be the case that she doesn't drop any, and I think she can drop 1, 2, or 3. The runes that you're looking for are Tyr, T-I-R, which is, have I got a spare one? Yep, there we go. And also Ral to make Tyr Ral, which would go in our leaf staff, so Tyr and then Ral rune. And then we're also looking for the Tal and the Eth rune to make stealth armor. Now, I would repeatedly run the Countess on your first character until you get basically those runes. So just hang on to them and until you get them in. They need to be put in the exact order. So you need a two-handed staff to make a leaf, or sorry, two-socketed staff to make a leaf. You have to put them in that order, but it is brilliant. It's such a good weapon. You get +3 to fire skills, add 5 to 30 fire damage, +3 to Inferno, don't care, +3 to warmth, gives us a bit more mana, which is lovely, +3 to Firebolt. Again, Firebolt is a synergy with our Fireball, so every Firebolt point is more damage, so that's brilliant. Plus defense, we don't really care. Cold resist 33%, that's nice. It boxes off one of our resists for us, you know, to a pretty good level. 2 mana per kill, again, lovely, because Fireball is using mana, so if we can get it back on kill, that's brilliant. 50% damage to undead. I think that only applies if you actually hit with it, so don't worry too much. Stealth, again, wonderful piece of gear. You just need both these things just need to be grey and 2 sockets. This will give you 25% faster run walk. Obviously, moving around faster is brilliant. 25% faster cast rate. More casts is more fireballs. more damage. We love it. 25% faster hit recovery. If something does bang, boinkers on the head, then we can come back into the action so much faster, which is brilliant. 6 to dexterity, don't care about that. Mana regen, 15%, a little bit more mana is helpful. Max stamina 15 is very nice. As you can see, stamina now is at 191, which is just brilliant. It means we can run for quite a while without getting tired. Poison resist 30%. So with the leaf staff, with this, we've boxed off two reses over 30%, which is good. And then magic damage reduced by 3. Now, this one is a level 17 item, so you won't be able to use it until 17. And this one is a level 19 item. So again, you won't be able to use it until level 19. Now you can do the countess runs up until you get to like level 15. There is good XP in there, there is good gear, but I probably would just move on once I got the runes. Now what have we got next? Okay, now as you play the game, you will realise that the Fire Sorc is a little intensive on mana. So again, another tip is to keep any tier runes, so TIR, and once you've got a couple of them, again, you only need level 13, so you can do this in advance if you get lucky and find a lot of them. And what this will do is it'll give you +2 to mana after you kill something, so that's +4. So when we add that to the 2 from the staff, from the leaf, we're getting 6 mana per kill, which is obviously great because Fireball, its mana cost I think goes up as you use it, but obviously we've got mana cost here 11. If we kill 2 enemies with 1, it's essentially free, which is pretty good. So that is pretty nice. The only other thing I think in terms of stuffing things into gear is a chip topaz. The yellow gem will actually give you magic find in armor and helms, so I think initially when I made this character I actually used one of these, so I had 1 yellow and 1 red in the chest, and then 1 blue and 1 red, which was this one here. So again, that's something to bear in mind. Magic find is obviously pretty good. Now in terms of the rest of the gear slots, so we're talking amulets, we're talking gloves, both of your rings, and also boots. Stats that you like are going to be faster cast rate, because that means you can attack faster, so more fireballs. Resist is obviously very nice, so I've got poison resist on these boots. I would prefer a different one. I think my character's actually got 0 fire resist, so naughty me. Magic find is very nice, so, if you can get that on something. Plus to life, plus to mana, plus to energy, all those types of things are pretty good. Any resistance is worthwhile picking up. Fire, cold, lightning, particularly lightning and fire, I find are particularly difficult to deal with. Beetles in Act 2 hurt a lot. Some of the fire breathing stuff in Act 3 hurts a lot. And half freeze duration, I quite like, because getting frozen sucks. But again, not the best thing. You can also get hit recovery. That's not too bad. But bear in mind, a sorceress with the fireball, you're going to be at range, so it's probably a little bit less useful. But just upgrade pieces as you find them, and just do your best. Now, to help build up your gold, you're going to be selling a lot of things. Obviously, with Diablo 2 Resurrected, we're going to have a shared stash, which is brilliant. So it means that if you make a fire sorceress and then go off and do another character, it means that you can stuff things in your stash, which is obviously very nice. But I would try and build up some gold, and the reason for that, if we got space now, let's just chuck this on the ground. The reason I would build up some gold is because I managed to find this staff in Act 1 at a vendor, +3 to warmth, +3 to firebolt. It doesn't sound like much, but this was a big upgrade for me. And you can do a lot of damage. This was about 10,000 gold, so anything yellow, like rare items, will sell for a lot of gold. Your chip gems will sell for decent gold. Any charms you don't want will sell for decent gold. Throwing knives, basically, if it looks valuable and you're not going to use it immediately, I would sell it to try and boost up your character. Now, bear in mind, the gold limit for Act 1 is 5,000, so you can't sell anything for above that. So if you come over to Chelsea, you try and sell something and it says 5k, hang on to it, because you'll sell it for more in Act 2. The limit for Act 2 is 10k, the limit for Act 3 is 15k. Now, that's kind of how that works. But the gold is very handy. It will allow you to buy nice things like this. Particularly, let's say you wanted to have another two-handed staff with Ice Blast or Frost Nova, or some other skill that isn't fire, so you can weapon swap and deal with the fire immune. let's say you're not relying on the mercenary, then again, that could be kind of helpful. Right, now, biggest thing with the sorceress, you don't want plus damage. So if you've got any of these charms with plus damage or plus poison damage, +3 to maximum damage, these don't work with spells. Obviously fireball is a spell. We're not actually going to hit anything with the staff, so you don't want any of that. If you do find them, stick them in your stash if you want to make a melee, or physical damage character. If you don't, then just sell them, basically, or give them to your mercenary, because again, plus damage for the Merc is pretty nice. Now, as you can see, I haven't done this quest here, which is the Herodic Malice. So this is where you go and kill the guy who looks a bit like the Butcher, and it will drop the hammer as part of the Charcy quest. I will get that done eventually. This will allow you to do an imbue, so you give her a item. Again, I think it's going to be a white one, but the game will tell you. And then she'll basically turn it into a magic one, or a rare one, sorry. Or is it a unique? I can't remember. She'll add a bunch of stats. It's kind of random as to what you get, but it's tied to your character level. So when you do get this quest done, you might only be like level 12, 13, 14, 15. You're going to get a lower level item. So again, you might want to save that. If you're not going to save it and you can't waste, you're just bursting to use it, I'd recommend doing a belt if you can get a double one, and obviously getting some magic stuff on there, because you don't really want to take, like, I'd be really reluctant to take this off for one rung belt. I know it's only another 4 potions, but it does make a big difference. Right, and then the last tip that I've got for you is in Act 2, you're obviously going to find the Herodic Cube very early, and I think the best thing you can do with this early on is to make full rejuve potions. So you open it up, you put in 3 normal rejuve potions. Let's see, should we just demonstrate? And this will make a full rejuve potion for us, which is obviously pretty nice. No, we're not going to be able to do that. Let's just chuck that on the ground. And the reason I like having full rejuve potions, they're very excessive at this point in the game, but 1, they take up less space rather than having loads of rejuve potions, but 2, I like to keep 3 in my 4 button and potion slot, just as a complete oh shit. And if I press this, I know I'm getting full health back and I'm getting full mana back, and I would just basically save up 3 and make 1. So I tend to have 3 in my inventory, in the belt, and then I'll put another 3 in the stash, and that way I can always go and grab one, and I'll just kind of make, whenever I take one out of the stash, I'll make a new one. There's tons you can do with the Herodic Cube, there's tons more you can do with this game, but I'm just a little conscious. We've been going for about 20-25 minutes now, but yeah, they're all the tips that I've got initially at the start of the game. It's so much fun. I've really enjoyed playing even just vanilla Diablo 2. I absolutely cannot wait for the 23rd of September. It's going to be really fun. Do come by the stream. Hopefully we'll get a good group of people together, and we're going to have a blast playing it. Really can't wait. If this video is helpful, thumbs up is brilliant. Subscribe if you want some more Diablo 2 Resurrected content. Let me know if you would like any more guides like this for any of the characters. There is not long left, but we'll do our best to make as many videos as we can. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you're staying safe. Take it easy. Peace.